what have James Stewart and Joan Crawford in common? Not much, I hope, because they have the Ice Follies of 1939 in common. This is when James Stewart was still younger. He's not unknown, but he's not super known yet. This is before It's a Wonderful Life, so that's when he really got famous. So not yet. And Jane Crawford was in Hollywood. She came to Hollywood as a flapper in the silent era, and sort of said, "I'm going to be a star," and she sort of pushed it. So she is a star. She's not my favorite. I'm gonna have to be very honest about it. She's not my favorite. James Stewart absolutely is, well, everybody's favorite. So I was going, oh, a film with James Stewart I haven't seen yet. It's gotta be interesting. And Joan Crawford, not my favorite, but I know she can do the job, you know. So let's open it up. Film is only an hour and 20 minutes long, which should give you an indication. It is listed as a musical. And considering that Joan Crawford and James Stewart are not known for their singing careers, so Joan Crawford does try, and she did record some stuff which was never published for this movie. She recorded a whole bunch of things, and only a little bit of it was used, and then she was overdubbed by somebody else. So I'm gonna call it no. And this film is called The Ice Follies of 1939. And for the people who know what a follies is and what an ice folly is in particular, it means the ice capades. It means skating extravaganza. Which sort of the way it is then and the way it is now is not quite the same. And most people now know of this type of ice skating as in figure skating from the Olympics, like the competition. Except that this is like an exhibition, a completely evening-filling exhibition with group dancing and ballets on ice. They do an exhibition in smack dab in the middle of the film at 42 minutes in. They do just 10 minutes or so of nothing but ice skating, which is fun for the people who like ice skating. It sort of stops the action dead. They are watching the performance, so as such it fits in the film, but it was going And then at about 1 hour and 7 minutes into the movie, they go for the second time there is a performance, and they are going all out because this part is in color. This last bit of about 15 minutes of the movie is straight up in color. The beautiful ice capades all in color. Very nice. So, but Joan Crawford nominally is in the last scene. She's sort of sitting there looking pretty in a dress. And she isn't in the other scene. And James Stewart is in neither scenes. So, this is a weird movie. Basically, it's also listed there are like 5 people in this movie. Joan Crawford, James Stewart, 2 other people, and the 5th person is the International Ice Follies. The entire Follies is one person. I think this movie is a advertisement for the Follies, using a nearly has-been star in Joan Crawford, who was pretty much all her life had been a has-been, because she's too much of a wannabe, and then she's pretty much a has-been. And a young up and coming gentleman in the way of Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart takes it very seriously. They do. There is a story. Jimmy Stewart character, Joan Crawford character, and a third are in a performance group, because this is a weird stuff, because I was going, what is the dynamic here? Because you find out that Jimmy Stewart, who plays Larry, and Lou Ayres, who plays Eddie, have been in a skating, I think a sort of a comedy duo, performance duo, for at least 8 years. And then this young lady, Mary, Larry picked up Mary from a job because he liked her. And so now she's added to the troupe. She can marginally skate. She can sing okay. And they're performing together. We never get to see the performance. Let me make that very clear. The thing starts with Larry and Mary skating off the ice, and we don't even actually see them skate. We just they arrive off the ice, and that's when the movie starts. We never see them perform, and they do make a joke of it right at the end. They couldn't. I don't think either of them can skate, and then neither of them can sing. So this is such a weird people to star in this thing. It's the story puts the three of them together, and then we get this weird dynamic between the three of them, because it starts off at the end of the performance, and Larry is seeing that, yeah, they're really not good enough. So instead of getting fired, he sort of fires themselves. They get fired, and then he tells Mary that he had a better idea and they were going to do something else. So he unilaterally decides for the three of them what they're going to be doing, as in quitting this job and moving on to whatever happens to be next, which could be nothing. And that is in a partnership. There are sort of three people together, and he just decides. And the next moment, Larry and Mary decide to get married. Again, third, Eddie is not even invited to come. I mean, they're going to get paper signed, and they don't even ask their one bestest friend to come. I don't understand. Anyway, more unilateral decisions all around. The same day, it becomes, because Eddie does talk to Mary one moment alone, it becomes clear that they have no prospects. They have nothing to go for. They have dreams that Larry has of putting on a show at some point, a nice show of some sort. But there's no money, and there's no prospect. There's nothing. And then unilaterally, Mary just runs off to the only named person they know, which happened to be a producer, and somehow, not even deliberately, cons him into giving her a job as an actress. And then she comes home with the papers. Hey, see, I've got a signed contract, 7-year signed contract. And then they go read the contract. It runs on in pages, and at the bottom it says, the person should be unmarried. She just got married this morning. Crap. So between the three of them, they decide what to do about it, and they sort of go, yeah, well, we have to go with this. It's money. It's like a lot. It's not endless amounts of money, but it's certainly more than they're getting in now, which was nothing at all. So, yeah. So this is going to happen. So she goes to work all day, every day, long work days. And Eddie and Larry seem to be staying at home. It doesn't say how many days, but some days after, Larry is starting to have a little bit of an identity crisis, because unemployed gentlemen will have that. And Eddie has absolutely nothing to do, because Larry at least has dreams of putting on that show, and he's making art for it, and he's making plans for it. And what is Eddie supposed to do? So at some point, Eddie puts on his hat, grabs his bag, and just as Larry comes in with the groceries, he says, "Larry, my pal, I'm out of here." again, a unilateral decision on his part. And everybody in this partnership makes decisions willy-nilly without... What? And then... And I was looking at this story and is going... Because she's in the picture business, she's doing the whole getting fitted for costumes. She needs different hair. She needs a different name. She needs, they're changing her up, and it is going good for her. She's getting better parts, and they're working her up. And Larry's star is dwindling down. And we know this? We know this story.
Yeah.
It's a Star is Born story. And for the people who have seen the 1954 Star is Born movie, that was a remake of a film from 1937 off the top of my head. So this is 1939. So yeah. So they have a second-hand plot with a second-hand star in Joan Crawford. Star enough. Upcoming star in James Stewart, the Ice Follies to put on the jollies, and all the jollies. This is why and a cheap knock-off plot. I'm glad this movie was only an hour and 21 minutes, because Jimmy Stewart is wonderful, and Joan Crawford is actually not bad in this. So the scenes are good, because Jimmy Stewart is always good, and he actually goes at it with guts. So he takes it seriously. So for watching it for that, sure. But I think it's still a waste of Jimmy Stewart, certainly, in this movie. So the ice skating, because I do watch a lot of ice skating with the Olympics, and I've been following the competitive ice skating for a bit. And when you watch ice skating from 1939 versus ice skating, figure skating now, there are a bunch of differences that you'll see. One of the differences is that they jump way less and way less rotations. I've seen a couple of the singular jumps. I didn't see them doing any doubles. And that's, we've been every so many years you get it in another rotation on the jumps, and then everybody's going, we'll never do the next rotation, and it always comes up. It just takes time. This is just that long ago, so therefore very few rotations. What they do is spin. They spin like a modern type of spinning. There's one scene of a gentleman dressed in a candy cane costume, which is like a white stripe going around, and then he starts spinning. Strippy, man, that's trippy. In color, that was the color bit. Trippy. Oh, pretty good. So the spins are real nice and fast. What they do that they don't do anymore, or at least not in competition, is a whole bunch of people skating together. They do that here a lot, like a line of skaters, or things going around in a circle with a whole bunch of skaters. You hardly ever see that now, because in competition that doesn't come up. And the other thing you do not see in competition now is the way they do a two people spin. The way they did it in this movie is absolutely not allowed to do it anymore. It's way too dangerous. The centrifugal force on some of the forces on that lady, if there's something goes wrong, she gets launched to Mars. Really, that was dangerous, and we'd never ever do that again. And they were doing it here. Kind of goes to show that when they don't do something in that old thing, is because they can't do it yet, like doing multiple jumps, multi-spin jumps, because they have the other skills and they have the guts to do the really dangerous stuff. So that's not issue. When you watch, you will also see some things where you go, oh, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. It's the Indian scene. A Native American girls dressed up in Native American headgear, and yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. Neither. And also the very strange transvestite couple. I think it was. I don't know what to make of that because I think it was meant as a joke, except they never land the joke. The gentleman and the gentleman, one of which is wearing a skirt, they're both obviously gentlemen, are dancing together as a skating couple. So like that, and they are a little bit too rough with each other because they're the gentlemen together, which is, I think, the joke. But they never land the joke. They come on, they have a silly dance around, and then they slide off again.
Maybe it wasn't a joke?
I don't know. They literally, it's unclear. I think probably if you lived in 1939, you will know where to laugh or not to laugh, or even you might say this was never funny in the first place. No. They imply very, very strongly that first sequence, the black and white skating sequence, is filmed in Toronto. I don't know if they actually went there. It's possible. And it's the whole sequence of skating, especially the first one, is completely divorced from the movie. It's in the story, Larry, the Jimmy Stewart character, is producing that show, but he's not in it. He's standing behind the scenes up in a booth somewhere, directing by an intercom thing. So he could have been anywhere. In that second sequence, Joan Crawford in the color sequence isn't in the sequence. However, they are then showing this entire sequence on the screen as a movie, which is the point because now Joan Crawford character is a movie actress, and therefore the husband does get to have his movie with his eye stuff in color and then they have to have a showing of it. The Star is Born plot, the people who remembered, is a very sad plot. And I think they took the idea and sort of fanficked it. And one of the things you do with fanfic is we have something that went really, really badly, but we wanted to see it done really well, even though that might not be the best way to do the story. That's what they did here. They did that same story and made it end well, even though that's not the best way to do the story. I'm not sorry that I saw this movie. Can I recommend it? Not particularly. But Jimmy Stewart was really, really good, and he takes it seriously. And I think, especially if it's a bit of, because I think he was probably aware that this was a bit of advertising for something that's nothing to do with him. And he probably was also aware that Joan Crawford is the way she is. He still takes it seriously. He does the steps, he does the role as is, and so does Joan and everybody there. They take it seriously as a job that even this job is weird, but they take it seriously. And so that part of it is good enough. It's out there. Enjoy it. It's got a color bit in the at the end. It was interesting. Well, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.